We're finishing up season 2. We're starting season 3. All tonight on Chevron Locked. Hello, and welcome everybody to Chevron Locked, a Stargate-based podcast. This is episode 15. My name is BC. I am one of your hosts. My other host is Kevin. Kevin, how are you doing this evening?
I'm doing pretty good.
Are you? You doing well?
Yeah, just got back from the movies yet again.
What did you see tonight?
Ghost in the Shell.
Oh, the quote-unquote whitewash version? Because that's all the press has been talking about.
Yeah. We went to the movie theater in the store that I work at. 525 capacity. There were 7 people total.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Tell me you're
really
kidding.
No, there were literally 7 people. I was one dude alone, me and my wife, and then a family of 4.
Wow.
And that is the total number of people that were in there. And when I was leaving, the usher looked at me, because I know him, and he goes, so how was it? And I just couldn't keep a straight face. Yeah.
Yeah. So Netflix, huh?
Yeah. The only reason I went to see it, we're going to be talking about it on the Nerdy Things podcast this Thursday when we record. And I'm really hoping that Jules, one of the co-hosts, really enjoyed the movie because that would be spectacular to talk about.
So basically, you're just telling me you're looking to argue with somebody.
Oh, I'm spoiling for a fight.
You really just want to fight about this one, huh?
Oh, no. Yeah, absolutely. I've already, so if all of my other podcasts fail completely, I have a backup podcast. It's called No, You're Wrong. And I just fight with whoever I want every week.
How is that not taking the forefront of your ideas right now, by the way?
Right? No, I know. That's definitely up on the list. I'm working towards that one.
Like when we were talking about the idea of booting up a second podcast, that one, I don't know how you didn't mention that one to me. Because I may have immediately just like jumped right on board that one.
We can talk.
Yes, we will. So, I had a bit of an interesting conversation the other night at work, and it's kind of movie related, so we'll go with it. But we were listening to music at work, and I don't know what was being played. I want to say it was Stone Temple Pilots, but it came from the Crow soundtrack, basically.
Okay.
And we started talking about soundtracks, like movie soundtracks at work, and how the initial conversation came from how in the 80s, like, movie soundtracks were like the fucking thing. Like, you would go out and you would buy a fucking cassette of, like, the Top Gun soundtrack or the Footloose soundtrack or whatever the case may be. Like, soundtracks were just all the rage. And how that kind of has slowed down. Like, that it hasn't been as popular as it once was in the 80s. But I was curious to know, what's your go-to movie soundtrack?
Oh. Now it's definitely got to be Guardians of the Galaxy because of all of the classic rock on that.
You just threw me a curveball. I didn't think that. I didn't think about that one.
My mind goes to like what's from our youth that I can pull, but really it has to be Guardians. It's one of the only it's one of 2 soundtracks that I own. The other one being the Muppet movie.
Oh, wow.
Not the newer one, not the older ones, because I like Jason Segel and I thought I love Flight of the Conchords, and Brett from Flight of the Conchords did the music for the new Muppet movie, and I think it's awesome and catchy, and I sing it to myself, and I'm not embarrassed.
I'm just really surprised you admitted that to anybody that would listen to that.
I'm sitting here holding my head because I know how embarrassing it is, but yeah. I'm also about to post a picture of myself to Reddit for James to see, so I'm just putting it all out there tonight.
Okay. All right. Fuck it. Just put it all out there. Mine was, we argued at work, but mine was, my go-to one is the original Tim Burton Batman soundtrack, the Prince soundtrack. It's like if it's like 75 degrees out and I'm just sitting in the car, that's what comes on.
Sure.
There's just something
I can
about
see
it.
that.
It's just such a good soundtrack. But then, the Crow soundtrack was amazing. Tales from the Crypt Demon Knight had an amazing soundtrack as well. But a lot of that was just like that 90s grunge era stuff, So, yeah, it's just one of those random thoughts I usually have. That's all. I have far too many random thoughts, by the way.
No.
I know. Most of them, I don't want to talk about to normal human beings, but they're random nonetheless.
That's what I'm here for.
You word up. So tonight, what are we looking at tonight, Kevin? We're looking at episodes 22.
Yep. And then season 3, episodes 1 and 2.
Correct. Man, that just finished up really fast.
Yeah, it did.
I know we talked about it last week, but man, that one just seemed to go by a whole lot faster than season 1 for some reason.
Yeah, it was pretty quick, but I think it was a lot of like really entertaining episodes. It was, a little bit more so than I think season 1.
I would agree. Even though we'll disagree on some of those episodes in terms of like whether or not we like them, they were definitely a little bit more entertaining. But we also got episodes that propelled the story along a lot further.
Yeah.
Yeah, my dog's just crying in the background because apparently, why not right now? Because why
it's all right.
not?
You're a good boy, buddy.
Yeah. That's the problem. Okay. I forgot I ordered pizza and it's sitting on top of the stove. And apparently it's within a distance that he feels like he should be able to have some. Even though the vet yelled at me for his girth last time we were there. So no more pizza for him for a while.
Ouch.
I know. There's nothing like being scolded by your vet, whether or not your dog may or may not be too heavy.
Right.
It's a bit, I don't know. So anyway, I don't want to talk about that. So yeah, let's just jump right into it. So season finale of season 2, Out of Mind.
Yes.
You want to talk to us?
I do.
Okay.
I usually prep for these. I didn't, so this is going to be off the top of my head.
Do it, buddy. Do it. You're good.
All right. So the episode opens with Jack, the popsicle, being revived by a bunch of people who inform him that his playmates are dead. 70 years has passed and he is being revived because they finally figured out the technology to bring him back after he was shoved back through the Stargate by unknown forces after they went through. Jack is having none of that, figures out that Carter and Daniel are also here. Teal'c inexplicably is back at the SGC, and they eventually all come together and wreck house.
Yeah. Okay. First, did you like the episode?
I did. I didn't start off liking it. I liked it by the end. I felt like it kind of hit its stride. I am glad that it was sort of a two-parter. I don't know. I did think it was a good episode. I think it had some story to it. I think it could have been better, but I think it worked well enough for a season finale cliffhanger type of thing that they were going for.
I felt like it was a bit of a weak cliffhanger, right?
Mm.
And here's my justification for this. I like the episode. Don't get me wrong, right?
Sure.
But it's just one of those things that when you're watching a television show, when you're watching anything that's been aired on television, you get those episodes where like, oh my God, these two people have died. And you're like, no, they haven't. Like,
right.
We, as a viewer, we know they're not dead. Don't pull one over. Like, you're not Game of Thrones. You're not going to which we didn't know Game of Thrones existed at this point, but you're not killing off main showrunners, right? So once
I'm calling bullshit.
Yeah, exactly. Once I got myself out of that mindset, it was a really good episode. I thought it was not as good as some of the other 2-part episodes that we've gotten over the past 2 seasons, but I still thought it was a fairly good episode.
Yeah, I mean, I actually have in my notes here, it's oh, exclamation point, it's a clip show. Like because I'm glad I've forgotten all of this and I can sort of watch these episodes. I didn't mind the clip show once they started doing away with it. I think it was a good little reminder of everything, and it's certainly better than some other shows and their clip shows, because at least this had a framework around it, and it wasn't them just sitting around the conference table going, hey, do you remember that time we went to that place and did that thing? And then they show us like 15 minutes of that footage.
Yeah. So I agree with you wholeheartedly. And as I was sitting there watching, I'm like, wow, do Kevin and I really have to do a fucking recap show at this point?
Yeah. Yeah,
Like,
honestly, I had that same thought.
Yeah. I'm like, well, so there goes episode 16 or episode 15.5, however you want to look at it. I'm like, they basically just gave us a fucking recap show. You know?
Yeah. But I'm glad it was limited. You know, it wasn't everything, and it wasn't like, here's what you missed up to this point. It was, you know, somewhat topical.
So you want to know what I loved best about that episode?
What?
So when they were doing their little recap with all the members, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what they left out of those recaps?
Oh God, they left out the filler episode.
They left out all the goddamn filler shit.
You dick.
I'm just saying, man. They left all that bullshit out.
I know.
You know, what did they do? They just kept to the actual story. They just kept to what propels the overall narrative.
Yeah. No, I hear you.
So,
I hear you.
but yeah, I mean that. So starting at the beginning of that episode, we got some really good visuals. Again, a topic we talk about a lot. A topic that will continue to be brought up, but very, very good visuals. Very, very good visuals.
Yeah, it was. It was interesting to see like a future SGC. You know, because this was what they imagined would naturally progress from that in some ways, and it was human technology. It was spruced up, and it was, you know, whatever it was, 70 years older. But it was kind of cool to have that cryogenic freezing floor that they lifted him up from.
Yeah.
You know, it was kind of weird that they were in character before he was awake.
Yeah. I caught that too.
Like, I feel like that was just for the audience. That was just there
that was
so that
just for
we
us,
would
yeah.
sit there and go, oh, it's really happening.
Yeah, that was part of the trickery. Yeah.
Right, because later in the episode, he's half asleep, and they're out there talking in the Goa'uld gibberish that they talk in, and he's like, whoa, what the hell?
Correct.
So that was a little odd.
It was a little odd. And then, so they go through all this work to spruce up the SGC and to make it seem like they're 70 years in the future, but nothing changes in the actual gate room.
Right.
Like, technology, like, they've got this technology that can, you know, cryo freeze and all that other shit, but nothing's changed in the main fucking gate room. That was the one I'm like, come on, somebody fucking recognize this shit, you know?
Yeah. And actually, I posted on the subreddit asking how old Cassandra was, or rather what year it was in the episode 1969 when they traveled to the future.
Yeah.
Because by my reckoning, they can't have been in that episode as far in the future as we were in this episode. And I wanted to see if anybody agreed or disagreed with me. And we get a couple of people like Squidcorn Hero had a fantastic answer to that. And I just want to make sure I give him that shout out because he brought up the fact that they were probably, if they were thinking about it, going to use Back to the Future logic, where they would go an even 10 number of years, in whatever direction, because that episode 1969 was so pop culture heavy, and they used Back to the Future in that episode, as a reference at least once, that I have to agree with him. So I think they probably went, like 60 or 70 years into the future to, 2069, 2079. And that would be the before or the time that we had that they were waking Jack up. And so I feel like they at least should have had a second where he was like, whoa, where's Cassandra? What, why isn't the gate shuttered? What is happening? What has changed? And we never got that moment. Even, Carter didn't have it. Nobody had that reveal that, like, this isn't the future. We've seen the future. Like, literally 2 weeks ago, we saw the future and it's not this.
Yeah. What's funny is I absolutely missed that fucking, I missed that post on the subreddit. I just found it as you were talking, by the way. And there's there's some very clever people out there.
Oh, absolutely. That's why I wanted to throw it to the community. I wanted to see if we could get anything other than what I was thinking on it.
Yeah, no.
We definitely did.
Yeah, they hit one out of the park there. Man, fucking math.
You know, I even tried to find the age of the actress that played the older Cassandra, but she wasn't in enough that I could figure out what she was. Yeah. So.
Yeah. No. Well, good call on that one, buddy. Yeah. What else? What else about that episode?
So when they were interrogating Carter.
Yeah.
And they ask her about Apophis and his death, she shouldn't think he's dead. Because again, that just happened, that they sent his dead body through the gate, and immediately the Tok'ra are like, oh no, they're going to wake him back up. They got a sarcophagus. They're going to torture the shit out of him.
So was she or was she not watching that monitor? So they've got them hooked up, right?
Yeah.
Them hooked up to these machines that are projecting their thoughts.
Yes.
In some way. And my interpretation there was that she was watching that as she was talking about it, right?
Yeah.
So she was only talking about what was being shown to her. It didn't show the whole Apophis shit.
Well, I felt like she confirmed it by talking about it. I felt like she confirmed it, and I felt like she kind of pushed it forward and didn't, like, I felt like her words didn't necessarily line up with what was on the screen. I get what you're saying, but I do feel like she had the ability to sort of wake up and realize, again, something isn't right. Like, they're leading me towards something that I know isn't true.
Yeah.
And she should have had that hesitation.
Okay, then going towards that thought, did you think that it was weird that it was Jack that kind of put all that shit together?
I do and I don't, because I think he's more of a gut person. I think he's more
Just
of like,
follows the instincts type of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Like, we've seen that he's smarter than he comes across, and he's definitely street smart. And I think he's just kind of one of those people that will stay quiet and figure it out and then act on it. Even if he was wrong, what was the worst that was going to happen in that? He
knocked out a member of the SGC. Like,
well, still,
again, you're right though. Like, that would have been the worst thing that would have happened. You know?
Yeah, there's nothing to that.
Yeah.
And I got a question for you. I might have missed this.
Let's have it.
Did they have 3 replicas of the SGC, or did they just have 1?
I thought it was just 1, but I understand where you may be going with that.
I thought it was 3, the way Jack woke up, left the replica, and then went in somewhere else and found Carter. And then it felt like later in either this episode or the next episode, when they were trying to free them, when SG6 was there and the others, I felt like it was just 1. And I'm really confused by the layout of that then.
I was horribly confused myself, to be honest with you. I went with the, okay, this is just 1, just to make it simple for myself, I guess.
Yeah.
But I completely see where you're going with that.
That makes the most sense. But at the same time, you don't want them in the same area together.
No, you wouldn't.
So I don't know. I'm going to have to chalk that one up to It's TV and move on.
Yeah. That's just, let's not overanalyze that particular plot device.
Yes.
I agree, I guess. So, in this, wait, or was it? No. I think it was in Into the Fire. So, for those who don't know, Out of Mind and Into the Fire. So, Out of Mind is the season 2 finale, and Into the Fire is the season 3 intro. Both directed by Martin Wood. Both flow together completely well. But, so I would prefer just talk about these as one episodes, if that makes sense, as if not to confuse us.
Yeah, we're going to flow them together.
Okay.
It's fine.
Okay.
I have 2 more notes that are basically specific to
Out of Mind.
Out of Mind, but only because of timing. It doesn't really matter.
No. Go, buddy.
There was that scene when they were missing Teal'c's back on Earth, and Hammond says something about they sent balloons through the gate to try to find them. And in my brain, I know he meant like weather balloons with cameras and things like that, but I'm definitely picturing party balloons. And they just kind of like it's the movie Up, where they just kind of have all the multicolored balloons and they just let them go.
Okay, so we both thought of the same thing. We just went different directions with that thought. So I thought the same thing, but as soon as he said balloons, and only because the goddamn trailer just dropped, all I could think about was it.
Oh yeah.
Was that single red balloon like going through the gate? You know what I'm saying? like the absolute like most horrific thing for anybody that's seen the movie, but for anybody that hasn't seen the movie, they're like, what the fuck is that? You know?
Oh God.
Yeah.
That would terrify me.
Which, side note, man, that new trailer, fuck.
Yeah.
That looked creepy as shit.
That is scary. I'm not going to sleep ever again.
No. Did you see that somebody did a mashup of the original It trailer?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Dude, I hadn't seen that original trailer since the fucking early 90s. Like, I didn't realize that they did that new trailer like almost beat for beat to that.
Yeah.
Oh, such a good job. I'm so pumped for that movie. That's neither here nor there, though. But yes, we both definitely thought of other pop culture references during that scene.
Yeah, and the last thing about that episode, at least I think it was specific to that episode, was when we get the introduction to Hathor and her guys are there. She had that really awkward looking cabana boy type Jaffa come in, and that dude did not look comfortable with her reaching down for his snake.
Oh, okay. Thought you were going a different direction there, but yes. That was a hell of a pun, by the way.
What pun?
Exactly, what pun? Yeah, that wasn't a pun. I was just talking. No, absolutely. So that dude comes on screen, right? And all I've been thinking of is in 1999, this motherfucker thought he was going somewhere.
He did. He had high hopes. This was going to make or break his career.
I hope that motherfucker's working at goddamn fucking Burger King somewhere right now. That's mean, but
dude,
anyway.
that was Jason Momoa.
that was Momoa's first screen appearance. Oh God. Yeah, no. As soon as he came on screen, I'm like, oh, look at this motherfucker.
Yeah.
Thinks he's the next goddamn. Maybe he thought he was the early Rock, you know? I don't know. What if on stage he was like, I'm just too fast and too furious for this shit, you know? I don't know. This is where my brain takes me at times.
It could have happened. He could have been Vin Diesel.
There's the key words. He could have been.
He could have, and he wasn't.
But
you know why?
But Bill,
his name wasn't cool enough.
I know, that's what I was going to say. But Bill had his high point in episode 22 of his show that's fucking been off the air for God knows how many years, and yeah, he just poor bastard. Used for one fucking scene, man. So did that kill him? Did she kill him?
No, because removing a mature symbiote would mean he's got some time before his immune system kills him, unless he gets another immature symbiote.
Okay, then what happened? Like, that brings up the other point. Did they catch that fucking symbiote somewhere?
That one went into Jack. She put that in Jack's head, and then Jack was frozen, and it died. Yeah. I'm not talking about that. But the motherfucker hit the floor and, like, slithered away. Like, I take it that they tracked it down somewhere? Maybe. Who knows?
I don't know. That's going to be chalked up to plot device as well.
Yep.
Yeah. I was just like, wow, nobody's, like, she just ran out the door because she was all upset that fucking the one chick fucking zapped him, you know?
Yeah.
I was like, so nobody's going to worry about that fucking snake just fucking slithering around, huh? Okay.
No, it's fine. It's fine. We'll just call him exterminator later.
Yeah, we got that. Yeah, I'm sure somebody will take care of that.
All right.
Yeah, so
that's all my notes and out of mind.
Okay.
I mean, it is the same story as Into the Fire.
It is. It pretty much is. It's just the back end, tail end, second half of that story. Into the Fire, before I forget, the one thing that kind of, I guess I had thought about it, but I hadn't thought about it. So is Daniel an oddity to just SG-1?
Yes.
So as far as we know, SG-2 through X are all just pure military.
I'm pretty sure they are. We've seen them. They may or may not have some other discipline, some other like training that they can do, but they're all pretty much military people. Yes.
Yeah, no, I agree that there's probably some sort of, like, they each have their own version of a Carter or whatever the case may be. But it just started my head spinning in terms of, like, SG-1's not the only one encountering new civilizations or new planets or new peoples or new races or whatever the case may be. That they've, like, who's on these teams, like, who's taking point when it comes to introductions? You know what I'm saying?
I'm not up on the lore, but how do you know they're not the only ones?
What do you mean?
I mean, maybe, because there's truly enough, and this is what I love about Stargate. There's definitely enough that we don't see that happens behind the scenes that I could imagine that that SG-1 is first contact.
Okay.
And that SG-2 may alternate with them, but you've got SG-3, which is, I mean, I'm sure each team has a role, but SG-3 is diplomacy, SG-4 is mining, SG-5 is infrastructure. And so each team will follow up with other planets and sort of, you know we got to negotiate with so-and-so, so we're going to send this team out to get some naquita, and we need to figure out the mining and set up aqueducts and sort of go from there, because even if it was, I mean, these are not going to be one-offs every time. We know we have relationships with some of these people. That's maybe the support role. You know, every other team does their job, and SG-1's job is meeting and diffusing these situations.
I see where you're going. My problem with that line of thinking, though, is that makes SG-2 through X fucking basically cleanup. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yep.
Like, I just, in my head, based on the number of planets that is known within this universe, you can't have just one team going out there, like, fucking dealing with all this shit, right? Or trying to find new fucking whatever, new plant life or whatever the case may be. In my head, each one of those teams, or at least the first 5 or first 10 or whatever, are going out there and encountering a new situation that they would have to have their version of a Daniel on board.
Right, but the argument that I have to make to play devil's advocate, because no, you're wrong, is...
Hey, listen, stop fucking... You don't have to push your title anymore, okay? We all got it.
When SG-1 first starts,
yeah,
on their first mission,
yeah,
first step through the gate, they start a war that is still going on.
Yep. So it...
And
go ahead, sorry.
Every time through, they do the same goddamn thing. I wouldn't want multiple teams doing that.
No, you wouldn't want the first one fucking doing that shit. At some point, they would say, you know what? You guys are now fucking 3. We're bringing in 2 and 1. You know? Like, at some point, that has to, like, come across the general's desk, like, saying, whoa, you are fucking up shit on a fucking mass scale. You need to stop.
They are toxic together. Break them up.
Yeah.
We're putting them on different teams.
Put Daniel on 6.
You're out.
Yeah. Put Daniel on 6. Carter, you're on 2. You know, like, just fucking break up the goddamn chaos.
I know, but they're the A team. They fuck everything up, but they're the only ones qualified to make it happen.
I know.
They're the only ones that can save it.
Hey, I'm not disagreeing with you on that, okay? I'm just saying that when we get to End of the Fire, right? Hammond wants to save SG-1, right? So he's going to fucking, he's thrown out all the teams that are available to him, because the teams that are currently off-world. He's going to throw them all at him, right?
Yep.
And you got Colonel, who's the one that's kind of in charge there? Colonel, I can't remember his name.
No idea.
Okay. Colonel Y is going to lead these, like, 5 different SG teams, right? And none of them, like, they're all just pure militarized. Like, they're all just pure fucking gung-ho Air Force fucking special forces, you know? Like, there was nothing in those teams that made it seem like... There was no Daniel saying, well, should we try to talk this out? You know, like that type of thing.
Yeah, and there was also not a brain between them.
Nope.
Because they were not covering the Stargate. This is the first note I have. They're out there to cover the Stargate, and they are standing in front of it.
Yeah.
Where, out in the open. you stand behind that and you get behind something else. So
Yep.
that when inevitably the Stargate activates or transport rings come up from underneath you or whatever bullshit happens, you are not surprised. And yet they were surprised.
You are somewhat prepared for
Yeah.
such actions.
And that's exactly it. And if you're behind the gate, you can just start shooting. It's amazing.
Yeah. Well, okay. Can we fast forward just a little bit? Can we talk about the jerk off that when they do finally get into the complex, the one jerk off, there's like 8 SG members, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the guards are coming down the hall and they're going to they're going to start the ambush. They all start shooting and you get jerk off number 4, who is just holding the gun via, I just had his name, Predator, not Arnold Schwarzenegger. Arnold Schwarzenegger's buddy from Predator. The black guy, Carl Weathers character.
Carl.
Whatever his name. Dutch was Arnold Schwarzenegger. Anyway, neither here nor there. You get his character where he's just hip firing, right? And I'm like, well, he's going to get fucking shot. And then within 15 seconds, he gets fucking blasted.
Weird.
I'm like, really? You're the best the Air Force has to offer.
And you've exactly proven my point. SG-1 is the only one that has the brains not only to start this shit, but to end it, where everyone else is like a small child. It's like watching Scooby-Doo find a Stargate.
Really? Because I would argue that a few episodes ago, we watched Jack hip fire all those guys in the fucking warehouse before they fucking nosedive through the Stargate.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And that's my point. They're toxic together. Teal'c had his back, Carter had his back, and Daniel didn't wet himself that much.
No, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, this is the same group that when they were fighting the giant towers that were shooting at them, and one of those towers shot the ground, one of the guys from SG whatever thought it would be a really good idea to crawl into the blue glowing hole that opened up in the ground that he didn't know if there was an exit from. So he brought the entire team down a tunnel that only went one direction.
Yeah.
This is the guy in charge.
Wait, are you talking about the towers that also, like, when they're shooting at him, it makes it look like they're wearing the old NES power helmet?
Yes, those towers.
Yeah.
The ones that came up from where exactly?
I don't know.
Because we just established there are tunnels underneath the ground here.
Yeah.
And you can't tell me one didn't know about the other.
Hey, plot device, yo. Oh my God. Yeah, that whole thing just fucking killed me. And then when the guys on the towers, they drop that little red fucking, did you ever see Firebirds?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I did.
Firebird, Nicolas Cage movie. He plays it. Like, it's so stupid. Like, nobody would ever believe Nicolas Cage can fly an Apache helicopter. But anyway, they make a movie. It just makes me laugh every time I fucking think about it. They make a movie. Focus. All right. They make a movie where Nicolas Cage is a fucking Apache helicopter pilot. And, his left eye, he drops over this, it's like a HUD system over the left eye, and that's exactly what that fucking thing reminded me of, because when the Jaffa, like, when he fucking dropped it, I'm like, oh shit, it's Nicolas Cage from Firebirds.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, definitely. It was so weird.
Yeah. Oh, anyway, I hate that movie. Oh, sorry. It was one of the worst movies ever made.
Oh God.
And Tommy Lee Jones was in it, that poor bastard. But anyway, so yeah, plot device, yo. So what else is in there?
So around the same time when they're all the SG teams are shooting at whatever that guy's name was, Tom Butler, the actor, TV's disappointed dad. I forget the name of the Goa'uld that he played. But they're shooting at him, and he's got the shield raised around the entire Stargate, and you can physically see the shield, and they're still shooting at it. It's like every member of every other SG team missed the debriefing where SG-1 was like, oh yeah, by the way, they have these awesome shields that nothing gets through. Yeah. And they were just firing at it repeatedly.
Okay, so let's play devil's advocate here. Just panic fire, maybe?
I guess. I mean, I don't know. I've never been on an alien planet fighting a snake and a guy shooting at something. So I guess I'll have to give them a mulligan.
I'll give him a mulligan for the panic fire. That's the only thing that's the only thing I could think about why that could possibly, because I agree with you, man. I do 100%. As much as it kills me, I do agree with you.
Yeah. And then, when Hammond was on Earth and they open up the gate to try to contact the SG teams and they use the MALP to see that there's a bunch of Goa'uld there. I don't know. Maybe I'm weird, but I'd just toss a couple of grenades through and call it a day.
Yep. I would just be like, hey, let's end this. Have this C4 sandwich.
Yeah. Just boop. There you go.
And
let's send another MALP and see what that did.
It's every fucking time.
Or let's send some party balloons.
let's send that fucking clown from the sewers in there, It's just every fucking time they're like, go to the MALP. The MALP spins around slowly, to the left, and then boom, it gets shot. I'm like, nobody thought to maybe fucking kill that thing, beforehand.
No, I know.
Really good episode though. Like, as much as we bitch about this shit.
Oh no, I got goosebumps when Teal'c gave that speech where he was like, they are
such
not
a fantastic
true
speech.
gods.
Yeah.
I joined him. I signed up. Thinking back, I don't think that was actually that I signed up for, and I'm probably going to have to cancel my credit card. But
yeah, absolutely, you should.
I loved it. I thought that was a great speech.
Mm-hmm. It was his inner Braveheart. That was his Braveheart speech.
No, it was, and it was so moving. It even got Hammond onto Chulak somehow.
Yeah. He just knew. Premonition.
Yeah.
Fucking Hammond from Texas.
Hammond from Texas.
You're damn right.
You gotta do the hand signal. I didn't hear the hand signal when you did that. You gotta rub your head.
What?
You gotta
listen, man.
Texas.
All right. I was going to go somewhere with that one. I just left it alone. I don't normally back off of things like that, too. I'm just going to
Let's keep this above the belt. All right,
I'm trying. I'm trying to keep this explicit without being triple X. You know what I'm saying?
Xander Cage.
Fuck that guy.
He could have been Xander Cage, and he wasn't. He was just in one episode of SG-1.
Oh, my God, man. Man, that poor bastard. So yeah. What else? What other notes do you have about Into the Fire?
The gate ship was so disappointing.
Yeah. Now, was that the first time we saw that?
That is the first, and I believe the only time we ever see the gate ship. At least from SG-1. They were threading the needle because apparently they don't have enough skill to go slowly through the gate. But yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. Hammond comes through, fires 2 giant missiles at one tiny man in a gun that swivels so slowly it wasn't a threat anymore. So that was a little overkill.
Yeah. I don't know.
I wanted to make a new rule. Every new mission starts with the gate ship. Let's bring that back to the SGC. Let's park it in the gate room. And when we start each mission, we're going to dial the gate and then just floor it. What do you think?
I'm in.
I'm
in. No
Fantastic.
No more MALPs. No more drones.
Right. Just boom. Go.
Yeah. Yeah. Just, yeah. Yeah. Okay. Can we retroly send a letter to the producers?
Yeah, seriously.
All right.
We'll go through the wormhole while there's a sun flare, and we'll have to, if we did it right now, we would go back to 1997. That would be absolutely perfect.
I was thinking DeLorean, but yeah, we can go that route too.
You know what? It's the exact same time frame. DeLorean or Gate, we'll do it.
Okay. All right. I'm in. I'm not going to You're fucking Doc in this equation, by the way.
Yes. Marty.
Yeah. See,
last note I have.
Yeah.
Jack in his white Goa'uld dress. Someone needs to tell him no white after Labor Day, because that thing was just not battle appropriate.
It wasn't at all. And then he's just like, wait here, I've got this.
Yeah, and then he walks up and is not playing it at being a Goa'uld anymore.
Not at all. Not at all, dude.
I was concerned for his safety, to say the least.
I was concerned for the storyline at that point. Like, utterly, I was like, come on. Like, just fucking play it a little bit, you know?
Yeah. No, I know.
I didn't get it. So anyway, let's talk about Seth for a second. That would be episode 2 of season 3.
Yes.
All right. Last episode of the night.
All right. So Sam's dad shows up at the base, and he's got a weird little gadget that is really poor representation of a family tree. And they figure out that they are missing a Goa'uld of the dozens or so. He's really vague on how many there are, even though there's a very specific number on the list that he has.
Which kills me is that he says it like they have them tagged in some reserve, by the way.
Yeah, yeah. And he's like, oh, yeah, there's dozens, thousands of Goa'uld, but dozens of system lords.
Yeah.
I wanted a number, but that's neither here nor there.
Mm-hmm.
And so they figure out that Seth, Satesh, Sandwich, Daniel went on for like 20 minutes with different acronyms for the guy, or different names for the guy, is on Earth. And with about 30 seconds of 1997 internet searching, Daniel has found him somehow. And he's leading a cult. So they go to break up the cult and wind up joining it, and then wind up snapping him in half, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah.
Decent episode. You know, again, sort of bottle episode, not a lot of, forward movement.
Well, it's weird because it is a filler episode, but it's not.
Yeah.
Would you agree? Like, it's that kind of hybrid episode?
I would, because it sort of expands and shows us that there are other Goa'uld, and it's not just the ones we've already met, and they all have different motivations. They're not just all, warlords, armies, weapons, attack Earth. This guy's been living here under the radar, and yes, he wants a following, and yes, he wants stuff, but he wasn't really a threat to the SGC and to the people of Earth. He was a threat to specific people.
Very specific people.
Like he had his cult, but he was only a threat to the people of the cult.
Yeah. Which I did like how they kind of portrayed him, because let's be honest, I think that if this were real life, that's exactly how that would go down. Like, if whoa, sorry. Apparently my dog wanted to be in the podcast this episode. Because the pizza, we're just going to keep blaming it on that.
There you go.
That if there was still one of the Goa'uld on Earth, that for a fact that's exactly how things would go down, is that he would want that. He would want that servitude. He would want not servitude. He would want that following,
worship,
worship.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I thought that was pretty fucking good.
Yeah, and I mean, this is the 90s. So the fact that he looked like Adam Sandler dressed up as Opera Man kind of worked in his favor, because that was in at the time.
Yeah, I agree. But even like when Jacob was talking about at the beginning of the episode, they're like, there's no way that he could still be alive. And he's like, well, he could be alive every about 400 years if he just took a new host, Yeah. I thought that was at least clever, if not a little bit more to this story in terms of, how long they live and all that shit.
Well, it does open us up too to the fact that they can. I mean, we knew they could take different hosts, but it kind of gives us that Doctor Who out, where we could have a bad guy that we've fought and he could come back and look different.
Yeah, well played on that. That's perfect analogy there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Overall, I thought it was a pretty good episode. I thought that there was a great scene in there where the guy that was in charge of the ATF, I can't remember his name, gets a phone call from the president, because basically the president wants, to make sure that SGC and specifically O'Neill has control over everything. And it was just one of those episodes that we've kind of seen that before, but I always just get a bit of a hoot out of that.
Yeah, I think it's really cool how confident Jack is with that, and just that smug, but, like condescending, joking way that he took over with that, where he told the guy just, you just send my team in, when they got the word for it. I love Jack. I think Jack is definitely the best character for the lead of this, and I'm happy that he's here.
And I truly think that one of the best things they could have ever done in terms of making the transition into television is changing that character over to the character that they got.
Oh, definitely.
You know, like giving
Richard
him
Dean
that,
Anderson playing him great. And quick aside, I hate April Fools.
Yeah.
Because,
I saw that. Yeah.
Yep. Fuck all of the death announcements that come out. There's somebody posted to the subreddit an article from, I think it was medium.com, that RDA, Richard Dean Anderson, had died on Friday. I don't fucking need that. You know, nobody reads these articles that are posted online. Nobody reads half of Reddit. They just look at the title and go, well, now I know that's true, and move on.
There was on the front page of Reddit right now, there's an article about a lady. I'm on Reddit right now, and of course it's not right here. A lady basically trained squirrels to attack her ex-husband.
Oh God.
Yeah, right. And they found this incredible picture of this cross-eyed lady, like a mugshot, and it was on the front page of Reddit, right? And then I was reading through the comments, and somebody's like, this is fake, right? And then linked over to the article about, it being fake and shit, but.
Right. Yeah. And that's my point, is because people don't have that ability to discern and the attention span to read.
No.
And then on top of that, you've got the internet where you can put anything you want. You can put a falsehood. You can make up an entire article that someone is dead, and you don't even have to put at the bottom that you were kidding.
No.
This one did, but really, I had a moment where I was like, oh my God, he is dead. And I was sad. I was very sad.
I was too. But on the flip side, I'm like, man, we're going to have so much to talk about on the podcast.
Yes. And I did learn from that article that his mother's maiden name is Carter, and I wonder if that's how Sam got her name.
Ooh. Wow. I wonder if it is. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't know that either, and I was reading the article, and it was talking about his mother and mentioned her by name, and her maiden name was Carter.
Wow. I wonder, man. I would like to get a hold of one of the producers or writers of that show and kind of see if that would be the case.
Yeah, be interesting.
It'd be very interesting. So, did you have any other notes about that episode?
Oh, I got plenty.
Let's have them.
I don't remember. Was this the first time we saw them in the blue BDUs, the Battle District uniform in the SGC?
Think so, but I'm not. I actually had that written down. I'm not 100% sure, but I believe so.
Yeah, I just thought that was interesting. I know we get a couple of different colors as we progress through, but I don't remember seeing the blue prior to this episode. I loved Teal'c's Jaffa joke.
Oh my
about
God,
Seth,
dude.
The Satesh guard, and his nose drips. And I actually thought that was a really cool tie-in to later in the episode when, the team is in front of the sort of, throne that Seth has, and it's got the two poles with the Satesh guard on it, and it starts, spewing smoke from the nose of the guard. It's like, oh my God, Teal'c was right. Their nose is dripping.
Yeah. It wasn't so much the joke, it was his laughter that just killed me, dude.
Oh, it was like one of my 4-year-old niece's jokes. It was amazing.
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes it's the simple jokes in life that make me laugh the hardest.
Yep. And when Carter's dad was talking about how with the Nishta, if you are infected by it, the one way out of it is to get shocked. The second they said that, I was like, oh, I know Jack is going to get infected by this stuff at some point.
Just because he enjoys it?
He does. He is going to get shocked. That is absolutely going to happen. And it happened twice because Carter's a dick. And when they made the earpieces, she hadn't finished hers. She put them in Jack and in Daniel's ears, and then tested hers without even putting it together and putting it in her ear. And she shocked the shit out of the two of them. And she just smiled and went, oh, and put it in her ear. Yes.
And can we just point out, and of course Reddit is not pulling up right now, in the Stargate subreddit, we had posted that we'd put the new podcast up. And somebody had commented that they enjoyed the show. but they didn't understand why I had such a problem with Carter from time to time.
Yeah. Yes.
And see this episode.
All right. Fair enough.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, what else you got?
The other things that I have are, Seth has been on Earth for hundreds of years. How come one of the random guards that he has on the compound of his cult has a working Zat with him? Like, how big a storehouse and how long does the power cell last? And they also had those, magic 8-ball bombs.
Yeah.
Like, how much of this stuff did you have laying around over the last however many years? And why has this not been an issue before?
Yeah. So I didn't think about the power cell or just the powering of said device. But the one thing I did think of, I'm like, man, has your technology not changed at all? Like, you're telling me that the same technology used over 2,000 years ago is what you're using today. You know?
Apparently, yes.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we saw some of that too with Hathor. When we first woke her up, she had been in that sarcophagus for hundreds of years as well. And that sarcophagus is the exact same technology.
Yeah.
The Goa'uld don't innovate. They steal and appropriate, and they may they may bedazzle it and whatever, but it's stolen technology, or at least replicated stolen technology.
Yeah. No, absolutely. That one did kind of irk me a little bit. I'll be honest.
And I mean, when the cult did strip down the SG team, to indoctrinate them into the cult itself, they didn't take the earpieces. They took everything else, but the very obvious, visible 1997 hearing aid earpieces that have been modified to shock them, they left in their ears.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did, sir. They were just, according to the stockpile there, they were basically just looking for AK-47s.
Yeah.
That's all they were looking for. That was it.
And then, the last thing, when the SG-1 runs into the room with all the Zats and just boom, 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 double-handed starts zatting the group of cult members in the middle of the room, there is no way they didn't double and triple Zat someone in there.
Okay.
Least one of those cult members is dead, and at least one of them disintegrated.
But this goes back to your previous comment that SG-1 just fucks shit up. Like, it's what they do, man.
It is, and they are so lucky and so good at the same time. They're the best combination of the two.
They are. For television, they absolutely are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody, at least one should have died. Or at least gotten severe, permanent, paralysis.
Yeah.
I agree. Really good episode, though. Like I said earlier, man, for that standalone, half filler, half storyline episode, really good episode.
Yeah, no, really, it was. It was fun. And that's really all the metric I need to measure it.
You're right. All I needed, did I enjoy this or was this a waste of my time? And I enjoyed it.
Good.
So,
yeah.
Any other cliff notes about those episodes?
That's about it.
Okay.
I mean, Carter's niece at the end really kind of creeped me out. She looked like a little old lady.
Yeah. Well, Carter's brother didn't look like Carter or Jacob.
No, he didn't.
At all. I was like, really? That dude runs camera number 3 and you couldn't find anybody and you just put him in the house.
Yeah, he looked so different. I'd believe all 3 of them were adopted.
Yeah. I agree, dude. All 4 people that walked into that house were adopted in some form or another.
Mm-hmm.
So, whatever. So next week, we are looking at Fair Game, Legacy, and Learning Curve.
Seems it, yeah.
Yeah, 2 more Martin Wood episodes and a Peter DeLuise episode.
That should be fun. I like Peter.
I do too. See, I'm going to ignore that joke too.
Good.
Yeah, I'm taking the high road, which is not something I normally do, but I'm going to try something new. I'm going to put a different pair of pants on, see how it fits. So, yeah, we appreciate everything. We appreciate all the support, all the comments, and downloads and whatnot. All the information we have is going to be in the show notes as always. Yeah, everybody have a good night.
Good night.